Hello and welcome to this video lecture on the regulation of sports governing bodies by governments, which is part of Unit 2 of our program on sports law. I'm Ajju John, and in this video lecture, we will discuss the source of the Government of India's power to make law on the subject of sport. Why would governments want to make law on the subject of sport? In the reading material to this unit, we have discussed a few of these reasons. Some of them are the association of sport with ideas of patriotism, the intrinsic connection of sport with a healthy lifestyle, and the contribution that sport can make to economic growth. Now let's try and locate the source of the Government of India's power to make law on the subject of sport. First of all, let's understand that the drafters of the Constitution of India were very keen that regional and linguistic identities were allowed to express themselves. This is why states, which are the components of the Union of India, have the autonomy over day-to-day aspects of their governance. Lawmaking power, for example, is distributed between the Union of India and the states by Article 246 of the Constitution of India. Now, if you were to read Article 246, you will note that it makes reference to Schedule 7 of the Constitution of India. Schedule 7 contains three lists. List 1, which is known as the Union List, List 2, which is known as the State List, and List 3, which is known as the Concurrent List. The Union Parliament has the exclusive authority to make law on all subjects mentioned in the Union List. Subjects such as the Defence of India, Armed Forces, and Atomic Energy come in this list. The state legislatures have the exclusive authority to make law on all subjects mentioned in the state list. Subjects such as public order, police, and prisons are part of this list. Both the Union Parliament and the state legislatures can make law on all subjects in the concurrent list. Now, the drafters of the Indian Constitution were also clear that they could not possibly conceive of all the subjects which would require lawmaking. This is why they made provision for residuary lawmaking power. Under Article 248 of the Constitution of India, the Union Parliament has the exclusive authority to make law on all subjects that are not mentioned in the concurrent list or in the state list. This is known as the residuary lawmaking power of the Union Parliament. Now, if we browse through all three lists present in Schedule 7 of the Constitution of India, we will see that the word sport appears only once, in entry 33 of List 2, which is the state list. Now, based on this, if we were to conclude that state legislatures had the exclusive authority to make law on the subject of sport, we would be wrong. We have to realize that the law made by state legislatures can only apply within the territorial limits of that state. Therefore, state legislatures cannot, for example, make law on subjects such as a national sports policy, the Indian cricket team, or international sporting events. Therefore, we have to conclude that the Union Parliament has the residuary power under Article 248 to make law on these subjects. Now, this is the constitutional scheme. The reality, however, is very different. The Union Parliament is yet to make law on the subject of sport. Very few state legislatures have made law on that subject. The Government of India has instead preferred to govern the sporting world through guidelines issued by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sport. Now, we will read about these guidelines in detail in the next unit. But let us now question the source of the power to issue these guidelines. For that, we have to read Article 73 of the Constitution of India, which describes the lawmaking power of the Union Executive. The Union Executive has the power to make law on all subjects that the Union Parliament has the power to make law on, and the state legislature does not have the power to make law on. So, in conclusion, we can say that the source of the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports power to make law on the subject of sport is Article 248 of the Constitution of India, which talks about the residuary lawmaking power of the Union Parliament, read with Article 73 of the Constitution of India, which describes the lawmaking power of the Union Executive. Now with this, we come to the end of our discussion on the regulation of sports governing bodies by governments.
Thank you for watching. In the next unit, we will learn about the supervision of sports governing bodies by courts.